I'm going to make a video on YouTube drama. I've tried recording this like 6 times, but I don't know. It's really hard for me to get my point across without sounding like an asshole. There is some YouTube drama going on between H3H3 Productions, Leafy is here, and Keemstar, I guess. The only person that I really know in that trio is H3H3 because I watch his videos. I don't really care about Keemstar or Leafy is here. I don't watch Leafy's videos. He's one of those YouTube commenters. I have a friend who does a lot of YouTube commentations, and he's pretty cool about it. That's Pyrocynical. But I do want to talk about just kind of bullying in general here. One, my thoughts on bullying are bullying is shitty. You shouldn't treat other people like shit, and you should not tell people to kill themselves, and you should not fucking make someone feel awful for what they make. You shouldn't make someone feel awful for the shit they make. And that's very hypocritical of me to say as someone who makes fun of fan fiction and makes fun of shitty art and generally seems like I'm bullying these people. And, you know, a couple people have felt that I am a bully in some ways, but I don't think I am. You know, I generally try to be very self-aware. I try not to say any disparaging comments to authors or writers anymore. I was pretty bad about it. I was a little bit of a bully when I started my channel and have been growing my channel. I try to be really, really lighthearted about it anymore. I don't want to make fun of these people for who they are. I want to make fun of their content, and I want them to grow. In the case of Chris Chan, I really want him to become a better person, and I read Sonichu as kind of a throwback to everyone who's read Sonichu, and the comic itself is awful. It's awful, and Chris Chan can be a terrible person, and he has autism, and that's not a defense for him being a terrible person. But I don't want to make fun of him for being a terrible person. I don't want to call him a terrible person because I don't think he's a terrible person. I think he's just in a place that has kind of molded him to do what he does. I think he has been enabled to do what he does. And in the case of what's going on right now, Leafy himself, I don't think is really the bully. I think he made fun of this guy, this guy with autism, and made fun of his video without realizing that he had autism, without any self-awareness, and just ripped into the video. I don't think he had ill intentions towards the maker of the video. I don't think he wanted his fans to go and raid that guy's channel and tell him to kill himself. And that's a big thing on YouTube anymore. When you have a large toxic fan base, you can't control them. It's a beast that you've created. You know, I'm one of those awful people that I have a slightly toxic fan base, and I'm not calling all of you guys awful because you know how active I am in my YouTube comments. When someone's being toxic and awful, I just respond like a 14-year-old. Because if someone wants to act like a 14-year-old cringe lord, edgelord on my channel, I will respond in same. And if someone has genuine criticism for me, I absolutely appreciate it, and I take it in stride. On the other hand, bullying is bad, but when you put something on the internet, it is there. It is there for everyone to see. When you put up a fan fiction, art, a video, whatever, you have gone out of your way to make that video public. This isn't you sharing a video with a group of friends. This is you sharing a video with a giant miasma of hatred and a little bit of good. There is something to say about people who upload videos and then regret uploading them. I had that for a while. I regret a lot of my earlier uploads. I regret my Let's Play channel, which was fucking awful, called Popsicle Savior, which you can find a couple videos hosted on a couple of other people's channels that weren't on the Popsicle Savior channel, but are just kind of floating around. I think when you put something on the internet, you have chosen to let that piece of you be shown. And I'm not saying that you were asking for it. I'm not saying that you were asking to be bullied. You were asking to be made fun of, but you have put yourself out there. And the internet is a cold, dark place. And most of the time, if someone makes fun of you, people aren't going to rise up and defend you. And I'm glad that there has been, you know, the YouTube drama in the past that when Keemstar basically ripped into this older RuneScape streamer, a lot of people jumped behind him and showed appreciation. And I think there's a lot of the internet that can do good. But there's a lot of toxicity on the internet. And that's my major point here is when you put something on the internet, you have put that up for everyone to see, the bad and the good. You have shown yourself, you've shown a very, very crucial part of yourself, a weak part of yourself or a strong part of yourself, and there are people out there that will make fun of it, that will exist to make fun of it, like me. You know, I find crappy fan fictions, and a lot of them are crappy for the sake of being crappy, and I try to realize that I don't want to bring any negative attention down on the people whose fan fictions I write. I just want them to be better, and I want to offer anymore. I want to just offer criticism and make fun of the shitty parts, and I love it when I find a shitty fan fiction that's so shitty, that's serious, but the shittiness is just great. And I think there's a lot of potential out there for even people like Chris Chan or the guy who wrote Sonic's Ultimate Harem. I think he has a lot of potential if he sat down and took something else seriously. I think Sonic's Ultimate Harem has been going on for far too long, and it's a terrible fucking fan fiction. It's awful. I don't wish the writer any ill will for writing it, even though on many drunk streams I've said awful things. I don't actually want him to do anything drastic about himself. I just wish he was a better writer and took time to become better at his craft, and didn't write Sonic fan fictions longer than War and Peace. You know, I don't think that's a good use of your time. I make YouTube videos in my spare time, and I still don't think it's a good use of my time, but I like doing them. I like making fun of shitty things, you know? And I feel like on YouTube right now, if you step out of line a little bit and offend someone, or it seems like you're bullying someone, you just get thrown in the trash can and ignored. I am already living in a landfill, so that's really hard already to call me trash, because I already accept that I am garbage. But I've had two separate incidents, you know, where I've had to edit or delete videos because I've hurt people's feelings and like actually made them freak out on Twitter or cry, and I've deleted 2 videos now because of it, because I don't want to be that person who goes around making people feel like shit, and I apologize to them privately. And I also don't think that people should air their dirty laundry live on YouTube. And I think that when you post a video, you should be a little bit more self-aware of what you're doing, whether it be making a video that ends up being cringy or making fun of a cringy video. I think in the end, you should just be a little bit more self-aware and try not to be a bully. And that's, I know that's coming from me, and I generally feel like a bully sometimes, but I just want to make videos about shitty fan fiction and funny videos that make people laugh. I don't want to hurt people. You know, I don't want people to feel unsafe or unhappy with what they've created just because it's bad. We all create bad things in our life, and I think everyone can move past that. I don't know. I really have no place talking about this, but I did just want to ramble incoherently about it a little bit, because I feel as though I have some words to say. I am going to try to stay neutral in this whole thing. I just want people to know that if you're a cancerous YouTube commenter, just try not to be a dick, dude. Anonymity on the internet is not an excuse for being a prick. And do a little bit of research before you make a video on someone's cringy video. If they're an awful person and they really deserve being called out, then yeah, maybe they deserve it. Like Soflo Antonio, or that one magician guy who's like a cunt that Ethan recently met with and talked to. If you're a sexist asshole pig, then yeah, maybe you deserve a little bit of calling out and a little bit of poking fun at, but try to do your research a little bit. Don't just jump on the hate train and attack people. Don't be a dick. Because that's what I try to strive for, is I try not to be a dick. But I don't know, maybe I'm just a hypocrite and a piece of shit. Like I said, I have really no place to talk about this. I'm just a depressed pile of garbage. But I hope we all kind of get over this flavor of the month YouTube drama shit. And we can all kind of move past it and get on with our lives. And I'm currently part of the problem, and I apologize for that. I apologize to everyone whose feelings I've hurt and everyone that I've wronged, I guess. I'm sorry. I really am.